This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats.
What's up? Stand up and say what's up. People over there, what's up? Feel me, stand up and say what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You can get with this, or you can get with that. You better get with this, girl. This where's at. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Maybe skipping and jumping, leaving the competition.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark.
Yeah.
Well, releases are continuing, and this is one I gotta tell you, I did not see coming. Now I'm hearing reports that he was actually offered a new contract, and he declined it because it was for a lot less money. Ladies and gentlemen, it is TKO versus the world. And they are going to start going after the long-tenured superstars with higher contracts because they're not making enough money. I just, you know, from a standpoint, too, I can understand, okay, well, R-Truth is really just comic relief. At the end of the day, that's not a bad thing. Like, right. It's okay to have some comic relief to break up a 2.5, 3-hour show. R-Truth was money every fucking time he was on that screen. He was able to make people break on camera. He could do it in the ring.
Right.
And he was entertaining as hell. And then you just had him wrestle John Cena, do the whole Ron Cena thing. And now, just like that, it's over. I don't know, man. I really, you know what I want? And, you know, we got a little taste of it on Raw with the crowd throughout the show chanting, "We want truth." We really need to get the hashtag "We want truth" trending. And we need to treat this like we did back in the day with Matt Hardy. Because the fans were the ones that got WWE to bring Matt Hardy back after the whole Edge and Lita and Matt deal. And it wound up being great for ratings and for the show. We need to get R-Truth back. I can understand if maybe you didn't have stuff for him. He's the type of guy you can find things for because he can make chicken shit into chicken salad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the problem. The things you will talk about to get the fans getting behind somebody, like rehiring Matt Hardy, then Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania, then Kofi Mania, same kind of thing. The fans organically got behind these underdogs and got them recognition. The problem you run into is that company doesn't exist anymore. As of about a year and a half ago, it's a completely different organization. TKO runs this thing from the top down. They run the UFC the same way. Older guys get cut, underperforming guys get cut, beloved fighters get cut, even though people still like them and there's still name value to them. They don't find other things for them. They just cut them. And that really sucks. But it's the way TKO does business, or Endeavor does business. Regarding truth, I don't understand how I offering somebody less, sure, way less, that's a slap in the face.
Especially someone that's given you over 20 years.
Age is not an issue for him. I know he's in his 50s, but he doesn't.
He looks the same he did 25 years ago. He doesn't age.
Exactly. He can still perform in the ring. And then here's the thing. Even if he couldn't, there is a role for him. Commentary, interviews, pre-show stuff, pay-per-view pre-shows, social media posts, any kind of stuff. Like, have him just go around and fucking review the food and catering and put it up on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. You can keep a guy around because he's over. this doesn't make any sense to me. He wrestled Saturday night's main event. He has the number 1 selling shirt on the WWE shop. And they just let him go. And they say, here's way less than you were making in your last contract. That's not right. And I know they didn't fire him, so all the people who can jump in the comments go, oh, but they didn't fire him. No, they didn't fire him, but they certainly found a way to make sure that
door.
Right. They didn't.
Well, that's what a big corporate company does, right? Like if they don't want to fire you, they're just going to offer you something that they know you're going to just say fuck you, and they can say, well, you left on your own terms, and we didn't fire you.
And here's something else that's interesting. A couple days ago, I watched a video on Facebook that said Carlito wins the WWC Heavyweight Championship in Puerto Rico. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. It's his dad's promotion. One of the comments on the Facebook goes, he's going to bring the title to WWE. Little did they know, a couple days later, he's also not getting renewed. He's done.
He wasn't even on Raw.
So
you won't see him now.
Nope, and that's why I think he won that title in Puerto Rico, because he knew he was on his way out the door and he needed a backup plan.
And then you also, it looks like maybe The Miz might be next. Apparently, he took down all his affiliation with WWE. He's another one that's been there for Miz.
It cut off. Miz?
Miz.
Oh, really?
I mean, he hasn't announced anything, but he took down all his affiliation with WWE. And he's another one that probably has a very high salary, and he's been there a long time. So, it's just like I can understand if WWE was hurting. You know what I mean? Then okay, you got to make adjustments. But they're pulling in record numbers. They're charging an arm and a leg for tickets for your high profile pay per views. I mean, SummerSlam for shitty seats for both nights is over $1,000. Just for your seats. That's not including food. That's not including parking. That's not including... it's just crazy to me. Their merchandise sales are through the roof. So they're selling out everywhere they go. So is it really necessary? Okay, maybe you feel he's getting overpaid for the work he's doing, but he's a draw. You can't tell me that R-Truth is not getting you a return on the investment.
Man, I agree. It's really frustrating as a fan just to see somebody like that who you got to watch this guy evolve and hit his peak and then continue working. And yeah, he was never the world champion. He was never, that was never the destiny of Ron Killings. But I mean, it would seem like he did everything right, and to still get let go. This is just the new way of the world. This is the way TKO just operates, unfortunately.
It's just unfortunately a sad day for us old school wrestlers that just appreciated how the business ran, that they understood when a guy was over and when we wanted them and XYZ. It's just not about that anymore.
TKO doesn't really give a shit about what the fans want. It's all about what they feel is going to be best for their pockets.
But here's the other thing, dude. They're having Triple H and Nick Khan and all these guys go out and do interviews and press conferences and tweets and all this shit about the biggest gates ever. We made the most money ever. We're selling the most T-shirts ever. All of this stuff that they're apparently Cody's setting records in merch sales, and then R-Truth is the number one. You can't celebrate how much money the fans are giving you and then start taking pieces away, especially pieces that were bringing in that money. You can say what you want about R-Truth. At the end of the day, he was bringing in money. And some people go, well, why does people care so much about R-Truth? It's like, why do you care so much about defending a fucking billion-dollar corporation? They don't need you to defend them. They've got all the money in the world. They could hire R-Truth for the next 20 years, and it's a drop in the bucket compared to the actual money they take in every time you buy one of those now overpriced tickets. Everybody should really think now when they put in their credit card information to buy a ticket to one of these shows. Is this what we're supporting here? Is this what we're okay? I'm giving my money to a company who's not using that money to turn, to reinvest into the company. It's really crappy.
It's a shame. It's a shame. By the way, little off topic, and we were going to talk about this last week. I fucked up in true form, and I apologize in advance.
Wait. Let me do it right. Do you know anybody that would fuck up and schedule something on the same weekend that SummerSlam's on? Continue.
I couldn't imagine.
Ooh, that was perfect.
So my annual trip with my daughter, which will include Nicole and her kids as well this year, is my cruise that I booked in December because there were great deals. And anyone that's listened to this show for a long time knows that every time I go on a cruise, something traumatic or horribly devastating happens in the world of professional wrestling. So not only am I going on another cruise, not only is it in August, but I can't go to SummerSlam. And I had every intention of going to SummerSlam, and Al hits me up and says, "Are you ready? Let's pull the trigger. Let's get the tickets." I said yes, and then I said, "Wait a minute. What's the date again?" And then I checked my date, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch. I'm leaving that day."
It was a sad day.
Not only am I not going to SummerSlam, but I am terrified that something horrible is going to happen during SummerSlam. Just throwing it out in the world. Vince, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, for new listeners. One time Steve went on a cruise. And then Roman Reigns came out and said, "My name is Joe Anoa'i and I have leukemia."
Oh, shit.
And then one day, a little while later, Steve went on a cruise. And a man named Vince McMahon had to step down as the chairman of the WWE due to allegations by a female. And are there any others that I'm missing? What else am I missing?
There was also somebody passed away during one that I went on too. I don't remember.
Yeah, one of the wrestlers died. Somebody died.
Somebody died. Yeah, it's always something horrible. And so, yeah, I apologize in advance.
Maybe this year the horrible thing is just that you're missing the show.
Maybe.
That could be the best outcome.
Because that's pretty fucking bad. Like, I don't even have a way of, like, watching it on this fucking thing.
So this is going to sound silly. I've never been on a cruise before, and I understand the concept that you're in the middle of the ocean. They don't have internet access?
They do. You pay for it, which I'm fine with paying for. But it's horrible. Gotcha. So I'll pay for it, and it ain't going to fucking work. And I'll have to sit there trying to watch it on my phone. So I'll have to wait until I get back and watch it. But this is MetLife. This is my backyard. I have been talking about going for a long time, and somehow I pulled the trigger on these tickets not realizing it was the same weekend.
But when did we know the date for SummerSlam? Did we know it in December?
I don't know that we did.
Okay, so you said that it's not entirely your fault. It's just the way fates have aligned. You got a good deal on a cruise. Look at it that way.
I did. But it is SummerSlam.
It is. So, and it is in your hometown, basically, in your backyard.
Backyard.
Damn.
I mean, again, to be able to go to a SummerSlam and not have to pay airfare and
oh, I know,
hotel and everything, you know what I mean? So that way you can actually spend a little more on the tickets because you don't have that other expense.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Get a better seat. Man.
Tara, hi, how are you? So, yeah. So, sucks for me. But more importantly, I just hope that everything's okay during SummerSlam because if not, you guys all heard it. The curse continues.
Now I don't know if I want to go because of all this shit you're saying.
What did you say?
You're putting the Jewish Moloch on this.
It really is, though. Holy shit, buddy.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Worse.
Listen.
How can you tell me tell me how Steve is mad without telling me Steve is mad that he's not going to SummerSlam?
Yo, I know. Now he's...
Yeah, poor Steve, he's not going to SummerSlam. He's going on a fucking cruise.
I just can't believe this is the first you're hearing of the curse, Al. That's pretty funny. The Steve Cruz curse has been The first one was Roman Reigns getting leukemia because I remember. I mean, I guess if you're a big fan, you would know. I was walking through Walmart grocery shopping, and Kat sends a message to the group chat saying, "Holy shit, Roman Reigns has cancer." He just said it on Raw, and then the next thing that everybody says is, "Oh, holy shit, Steve doesn't have internet access until fucking Friday, whatever it was. He's not gonna know."
So and this particular trip, I didn't pay for any Wi-Fi. So I literally didn't have my phone on until the morning we're getting off the boat. So you're sitting there after breakfast and you're waiting because they get you off in groups. So I have nothing but time to kill. Now I'm back home. So I turn on the phone. I must have 100, 150 fucking missed calls, text messages, alerts about Roman. And I said, all right, well, I was just on the boat.
Did Ric Flair go to the hospital or have surgery one time when you were on a cruise?
Ric Flair definitely almost died once. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. So now
that's true.
So now SummerSlam 2025. Steve, with all intentions of going to SummerSlam, cannot go, is booked a cruise, and now the potential that the cruise curse is going to hit SummerSlam this year in August like a fucking hurricane. It's hurricane season.
Oh, please,
Steven.
could you stop?
Steven, you might have jinxed the whole show.
I'm not trying to correlate at all, but on a serious note, did you guys hear about Gigi Dolan?
No.
So apparently she went on Instagram and posted something like maybe I should just, and implied like offing herself.
Oh,
and then people started like having massive concern, and then she took it down. There's been no update since, but it's very, I don't know if people watch Dark Side of the Ring, but they just did the one on Daphne, which unfortunately she wound up killing herself, and she did it live on Instagram. So people are getting worried that she's in a bad place. So I hope she gets the help she needs.
Yeah, definitely.
Suicide is never the answer. So I hope wish all the best. Jasim over at YouTube, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
That's scary because one thing I saw was that either over the weekend or last week after her release, she posted a promo video of her. It's like a black and white video, and she's like on an old style couch, like a old 100, 200-year-old looking couch. Weird, spooky thing like she usually does. And then she cuts a promo. And so I'm not really sure what, if that tweet was supposed to like tie into the video at all, or if that was just her, actual personal thoughts. I hope not. So yeah, the best to Gigi Dolan. If there, if there's something up, definitely. And if, in general, if there's something up with you, always reach out to somebody. The suicide hotline is always an option. I know there's a text number that you can text to. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like 777 or 2. You can always dial 211 wherever you are, 311 if you're in New York. But yeah. And so hey, Jasim, of course, and Ryan, go ahead with the Ryan comment.
There will be a Final Destination scene at SummerSlam where everyone dies. Well, that's a little.
Hey.
Yeah, Al's still planning to go.
Maybe he just means in the ring.
There. Relax. This is fucked up.
Oh no! We shouldn't.
Hey,
have
Ryan
told him.
said it, not me.
We shouldn't have told him about the cruise curse.
I know. Well, listen, I did start off by apologizing in advance.
We're gonna have to do some like music for the cruise curse, like when you get back, like the cruise curse, like news style, like Weather Channel.
You know what? This is gonna be the year that the curse breaks, and everything will be fine.
I hope so.
Everything will be good.
I think that's right. Cause me and Mitch Biceps are going to be at SummerSlam, so we are definitely
there. It
is
okay.
Yeah, rub it in, why don't you? Jasim,
well, you try to sourpuss it. Of course I am.
Jasim over at YouTube. I can't wait until this El Grande Americano nonsense is under the bridge and put away forever because this is crazy and he's not going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't believe so, goofball. How's El Grande going to win the briefcase if all he does is cheat? He put the metal plate under his mask. Go ahead, Al.
That's why I think he might win. I think he might win this shit. After last night, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the crowd reacting to this fucker, and I just, I don't know. For me, it just seems. But they're telling us that it's going to be Rollins. And
there's no way that it's not Rollins. It's got to be Rollins. And I got to tell you something else too. I'm getting more excited for the women's than I am the men's, quite honestly. Like so if Rollins you go through,
who does Rollins
Money in the Bank match?
I'm saying no. I understand.
Who's he cash in on?
Yeah.
Does he cash in on Uso?
I would say probably Uso because he already somewhat challenged him backstage. Like he already kind of said, "I'd be coming for you," kind of thing, if he can get through Gunther. So, but I don't think Grande's going to win. You know what I think is going to? I think Penta is going to do something insane that's going to wind up taking him and Americano out.
I think
and that'll. A heel. What?
I think whoever it is a heel who wins, bro. I don't
think Rollins is a heel.
Winning. Yeah, well, Rollins, but Americano.
No.
Could you imagine Americano cashing in?
Yeah, but here's the problem. Then they're going to have this thing. If he cashes in or if he wins the title, they have the out to pull it out from under him of saying you have to unmask to prove that you're not Chad Gable or you don't get your title shot or you don't get your championship.
What if he gets the Money in the Bank briefcase and right up there he just takes the mask off and he realizes, hey, it's me all along.
Okay, I mean, listen, I don't hate it. Or he could go in with the medal, when he's about to cash in with the medal in the mask, headbutt, and then take the mask off, big reveal, or pin him, big reveal, take the mask off. I don't know. Does the fact that it's Chad Gable underneath the mask and because now they've already brought it up on TV about, Chad Gable and Grande Americano can't be in, you have to prove that you're separate people to be in the match or whatever. It's been addressed on TV. So now him winning opens up a whole can of worms is what I'm saying.
I mean, listen, I think it would definitely draw a lot of heat and I think people would be pissed and it would be great, to be honest. But there's no doubt in my mind that Seth Rollins doesn't leave with this briefcase because they need to build momentum and validity to this new group. And I think having your leader as the briefcase holder is the way to do it. Jassim, well, I don't understand. It's how he put the metal plate under his mask last night and the referee did not catch him. Just shows you that WWE is fake and not doing nothing about it. Well, all right, listen.
Yeah, dude. Come on,
First and foremost.
Brother, we know.
Pro wrestling, I don't like to use the F word.
Scripted.
It is scripted. It is performance art. The idea is that he doesn't get caught. He wins by being dirty because he's a heel. He's doing everything that he's supposed to as a heel. I understand your frustration, Jassim. But in this case, he's doing everything he's supposed to do, and I'm loving it. And the fact that we all know it's Gable is what makes it funny.
But are we loving it all the way to a Money in the Bank?
No. Like, I don't think he should have the briefcase. Ryan, what if Gable tries cashing it in for getting his mask? That would be funny. Like, if he just comes running out, he's like, oh, shit, I forgot. Oh, fuck it, I'm going to cash it in anyway, right? Then he'll say, I spoke to Americano and he gave me the briefcase to cash.
But is he going to win? That's the problem. There's been
he's not winning.
In my mind, the Money in the Bank should be almost a fucking slam dunk. I know a couple people have failed, and the people have to fail to keep it interesting, but I need a Money in the Bank cash in this year on the men's side, like a big fucking, like they did at WrestleMania last year. Let's have another one. SummerSlam, maybe. I don't know.
Fuck it. I'll take one the same night. We haven't had one of those in a while.
I love the same night cash in.
I'll take the same night. The excitement, that place will go apeshit. If Grande Americano Cafe comes out and fucking pins Jimmy Uso or whoever wins at the end of the night, it'll be awesome.
So correct me if I'm wrong, But typically, because now you have the men's and the women's Money in the Bank
It's going to be
matches,
the main event.
Typically, one opens, one closes. So if the men's closes, then he can't cash in same night.
Correcto. But it depends on the order of the matches. They can switch it around.
I mean, they can. They can, for sure. Jassim, people around the world saw the interview with Kathy Kelly and Chad Gable, and the mysterious man popped in the background, and all of a sudden the fans want to believe that's Chad Gable when I clearly seen it with my own. Yeah, but that's the comedy of it. You're missing what they're trying to do. They're blatantly telling you it's Gable, but Gable has convinced himself that he can trick the people. It's a spoof. It's supposed to be comic relief and fun.
It's when Edge and Christian were the conquistadors and they wore all gold luchador suits. Nobody knew.
Or when Hulk Hogan was Mr. America, whatever the fuck.
This is exactly what it is. There's not even There's no other comparison because Mr. America had
the mustache, did all the Hogan poses, right?
Yeah. All we're missing is the lie detector.
That's right. I still don't think that's Chad Gable because they said it over again. How can he be in two places at once? I don't care if he's pulling double duty. Oh, so you're saying you don't think Americano is Chad Gable? Okay. Let's go with your theory then.
So
who is it?
The guy.
Who do you think it is then?
So the guy in the background wasn't a body double. It was actually Chad Gable in the background, and the body double was under the mask. Is this the prevailing theory, or is it the real Grande Americano and the fake and Chad Gable is real in the background? They're both real. Because
there is no doubt in my mind that it's Chad Gable.
Because here's the problem:
if there's how could it not be Chad Gable?
It's absolutely. But I'm trying to help Jassim figure this out because if Grande America, if there's anybody else under the mask and it's just like a complete stranger and his name is Grande Americano, I don't care if he's like an NXT guy or whatever. Guess what? You're Grande Americano now because that's your introduction to the world. You're that character. And then if it's a stunt double, oh my God, my brain's in a fucking pretzel right now. Jassim, it's the same guy. They're both the same guy. If you remember Mr. America with Hulk Hogan, it's the same thing. Kurt Angle? Oh no. Oh my child. Oh my sweet, sweet summer child. Jassim, I love you so much, and you were a sweet, innocent boy, and you're a very young man, and you want to be a WWE superstar. Kurt Angle's neck is literally fused together in order to make sure that he wasn't crippled after his wrestling career. He went and had surgery that fused. There's no, so the spine is like little bone and then cartilage and then bone and then cartilage to like space them out. There's no more cartilage. It's all the whole cervical section of his neck down to the atlas. Well, from the atlas to the whatever this one is, the at the top of your shoulders there, the big bone, it's all fused. He can't bend his neck. He can't turn. In order to look sideways, he has to move his body. Like when Batman can't move his neck in the suit, it's the same way. He can't move his head separate from his shoulders right now because he's so beat up from all of the things that he did in his wrestling career. So it's very, I don't want to, how do I put this? Because I was going to say unlikely, and then I was going to say improbable. It's impossible that it's Kurt Angle under there. And also Kurt Angle has a very obvious tattoo on his back right shoulder. That is the logo of the college that he went to, and this guy does not have that tattoo. I don't know how else to put it. Like aside from just being like, no, you're wrong. Like I don't want to just be like that because like you
don't want to burst the bubble.
Right, and you're expressing an opinion, and this is a place where we're free to express opinions. But I just got to let you know what the score is. And
now, don't get it twisted. We would love for it to be Kurt Angle, but it's
if they took off the mask and it was anybody else and it completely surprised us, I would be delighted. Like that would be so fun because this whole time we think it's him and then it's somebody else. I would be completely okay with the misdirect, even if Chad Gable is wrestling as him right now. If they just revealed it was somebody else down the line, whatever, sure. But as of right now, all signs point to Chad Gable being Grande Americano, and I can't really find an argument otherwise. That's it.
That's so funny.
I don't know, dude.
Go ahead. back to the original thing. But honestly, I just think that is too blatant. That we're all been thinking for weeks. It's gonna be Rollins. It's gonna be Rollins. Unless they find a way to put it on Solo, that way they could give him some kind of spark to put him back in the map because he's kind of like in the back of the shadows right now. I think Rollins doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think if he loses his match, there's no way he still doesn't go after the title and still is the main heel on Raw. I still think he's that guy. I just think it could help other people more. Grande Americano for sure, and definitely Solo.
So I'd be okay with Solo.
And so here's the thing, so we can kind of figure this out. If Rollins doesn't win, but still goes on to challenge Jey Uso and become the number one contender on Raw in some way, beat the clock, tournament, whatever, that would mean that the Raw world title is occupied, which would mean that the winner would likely have to... You can cross brands and cash in. That has happened before. But in general, if Rollins is going to stay on Raw and challenge for the Raw title, someone from SmackDown is going to win the briefcase, and that shortens the list a little bit. Solo's not a bad option, but I'm stunned. Steven, I've been broadcasting. I just want you to know, I have been broadcasting or podcasting or doing the radio since 2006, 2007, when I started my first podcast. This is indeed the first time I have ever truly been speechless.
I'm so lost. So Jassim,
when did they wrestle each other?
That Grande Americano and Chad Gable wrestled each other. When did this happen? Because I missed it.
Wait, who said that?
Jassim
just said it in the chat.
Where
See, okay, we're all on the same page here. This happened. This couldn't have happened.
No, I don't think. I mean,
did somebody create the story in WWE 2K?
I'm going to quit smoking weed forever if I missed Grande Americano and Chad Gable having a match on SmackDown. Okay, that I feel like I am my. I wish you could see the TV static that is my brain right now.
I'm so confused.
I can't. My brain is broken. Jassim, you've broken my brain. I need to know. No, you're watching the show, and I know it's on a delay because of the internet and all. I need you to put in the comments, when did this happen? It could.
I gotta say it.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. Okay, Tara, thanks. Somebody with a lick of sense finally bringing us back to earth. Oh, Tara, thank you so much, sweetheart. I'm...
So, SmackDown...
If that happened, I
have a question. Vince is broken.
I can't. I'm gonna go get an Arizona iced tea.
What is this? Chase C? I don't know what that means, my man. I'm sorry.
But if that would have happened, how... would the commentators and everybody still go along with the, we know who's under the mask if they would have wrestled already?
Well, McAfee keeps mocking it and saying that it's not. Michael Cole keeps telling him you're an idiot that it is. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, SmackDown thought it was a pretty damn good show this week. They're still continuing this whole Naomi Jade Cargill deal. They were in the home state of Bianca, so she kicked it off. She got a hero's welcome. I guess she's still a little banged up, so she didn't wrestle. But you had a triple threat with Nia, Naomi, and Jade Cargill, which I thought was actually much better than I expected it to be. And I was surprised that Naomi was the one to walk away with the win. So she is now in the women's Money in the Bank match. I'm more excited for the women's than the men's. Just based on the women that are in this match.
I got a quick question for you, and I don't know if anybody really knows. It seems like during one of the vignettes that they did a week or two ago that it's Bianca's finger that's keeping her out of the ring? Is it just broken, or is there more to it than that? Did it like require surgery?
I think she has a broken finger.
Huh. Okay. It seems just correct me if I'm wrong. The promo that they cut with the dramatic music and the slow motion fucking shot of her broken finger. That didn't seem like a heel move to you. This doesn't feel like a big heel turn of like finding an excuse like a broken finger as a reason not to wrestle.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I've been waiting and expecting a heel turn for quite some time, and it hasn't happened. So I just don't know that they're ready to pull the trigger yet.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Al?
I don't know, man. I feel the fact that she feels comfortable with these girls working.
Yeah.
And right, they're not ready to pull the trigger from her comfort zone. I think they're still trying to give her time to evolve within this within this storyline, right? And there's layers to it, which is good, you know. Yeah, you see evolutions from both sides, right? You see oh my God, you see Trinity becoming more of uh, a different person that we haven't seen in a while, like actually a good heel this time around. Because her first time around as a heel, I really wasn't a fan of it. This time seems a little bit more serious. And then you got Miss Thunder, which I forget her name right now. I'm sorry. What's her name? The Thunder Women bring the storm.
Jade Cargill?
Cargill. Yeah.
Oh,
Jade, right.
Cargill.
You have Jade
yeah.
evolving into the wrestler that you would hope she could become. So
she's gotten a lot better. She's gotten a lot better.
And in irony, in the back end of the storyline, if Bianca does become a heel, we see her two-face of her character.
Guys, we gotta take a real quick break here. We just got a message in the group chat. Mariah May has made her NXT debut.
Is she still Mariah May?
I don't know. Eric just sent the message, so I assume he's telling the truth.
That is
I assume she's telling the truth.
If Eric
wouldn't be making it up,
right? Why would Eric make that up unless he took one too many of those escitalopram or whatever it was, and we know how that went one time. Anyway, yeah, can somebody check this out and make sure we're not just telling tales out of school? Mariah May got removed from the AEW roster over the weekend on their website, and there was scuttlebutt that she's going to make her NXT debut. Apparently, there was a bidding war going on. Tony Khan's not a cheap man. I'm sure he threw the bag at her, but a lot of people, including Mariah May and Stephanie Vaquer, their wish is to be a WWE superstar, and that is their goal. So listen, no knock on her. She's going to go make a lot of money. She was part of one of the biggest, best women's feuds, not in just AEW history, in women's history, in women's wrestling in general. She's a great women's wrestler. She's going to be a great addition to that roster. I hope they utilize her the right way, because if not, that's terrible. I know she works, you work your whole life to get somewhere. You hope you make headway, and I think she's got the talent to do it. I just hope they recognize it. On the flip side, she will be missed in AEW, but the spirit and the attitude of AEW is always the next man up or the next woman up. And we've got Mercedes challenging Timeless Toni Storm. We've got the girl that just came in and she wrestled over the week. She wrestled the last pay-per-view against Tony. Why can't I remember her name? Mina Shirakawa. And there's a lot of women on the roster like Statlander and Willow Nightingale that are willing to step up as well. So they've got a lot. Their women's roster is very deep. She's going to be missed, but somebody will step up to fill that place. And we'll see what the future holds for Mariah May in NXT. That's crazy.
One thing I could say is it's not a bad time to be a AEW wrestler. Simply because this whole TKO thing, right? They're going to be going off waves and who's hot and what's not. And it's probably the first time in their life they're paying attention to wrestling. So if you're a young up-and-comer and AEW doesn't want to give you that money, it's a great time to come over to WWE. And the thing that you have to factor in is...
Or TNA.
I believe Mariah May would TNA also. I believe Mariah May would not fail simply because she is a TKO signing, and they will do everything in their power to push her and make sure she gets over. And the talent we see in AEW, when we see her, we know that if they push her, she will get over. Because she is good enough. So I think that's an advantage to have because now these guys become, or anybody that comes from the indie or another AEW wrestler, etc., TNA, like you just said, Steve, it's the advantage that they're a TKO guy. They're not a Triple H person or a Vince McMahon person. They're a TKO signing. So they will push the shit out of them to make sure they could succeed. Is the way I look at it.
Plus, she's coming off very big momentum. Like
exactly.
That feud with Toni Storm was one of the biggest feuds of the whole year last year.
You could arguably say outside of Tony, Tony and the CEO, she's probably the third hottest wrestler in AEW before she exited.
Oh yeah, she and they had the perfect ending. That pinfall in the match where it said "The End" at the Titantron. It was great. It was a beautiful farewell for her. We all thought it was just a brief vacation and she was going to come back strong and not feud against Tony, but go in and see. We wanted to see what the new direction of Mariah May was going to be in AEW, but now we're going to see what the new direction of Mariah May, if that's her name, is going to be in NXT. Good.
Just see him over YouTube. My bad. I could have sworn Chad Gable faced off with El Grande Americano. Maybe they did not. I just because I swore they faced off. I'm confused myself. That's why I want all this nonsense to be over against El Grande. I'm just confused like who's who. I hear you, man. Well, listen, I think it's coming to an end. We probably won't see much more of this story after Money in the Bank or latest SummerSlam.
Right.
Because I feel like there has to be one last big match maybe between him and Penta. Because that, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they're...
Penta will be the one to rip the mask off and reveal that it's Chad Gable.
I think that they have to do it old school Lucha Libre, loser takes their mask off match.
Right.
And that's the way. And then maybe Rey Fenix helps his brother, and that's how they become a tag team again. Because Americano tries to put the thing under the mask, and then Rey Fenix runs out and tells the referee or grabs it out or whatever. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, so you know what I mean. I'm not going to repeat myself, even though I sneezed. You get it.
You know what I want, man? I want a luchador revolution in NWO type revolution in on Raw. Like I really, or SmackDown. I would really like that. Now that they have like AAA signing from Mexico, like I would love like an invasion from like El Vikingo that comes around with a few of its top wrestlers, and they literally start jumping our luchadors. And whether they're heels or good guys, they're gonna have to form an Avengers type team to go against AAA if now they're gonna get taken over. Like I would like to see that kind of storyline in the lower level, the mid cards. I think it'll be interesting, and it gives exposures to these guys too, and our guys could go over and wrestle over there, which we're doing already.
Yeah, so I think what the way they're starting it off is this Worlds Collide with AAA and NXT. I think that might be a test to kind of see how the AAA talent stacks up, and then from there decide if they want to continue AAA being affiliated with NXT or if they want to try and make them affiliated with one of the main roster brands, which I would be all for, because we're all around the same age. One of my favorite parts of Monday Nitro was always the cruiserweights. Not all of them were lucha, but a lot of them were. You had Silver King and Rey Mysterio, of course, and you had
La Parka, Juventud.
Yeah, La Parka, Juventud. Fucking, there were so many of them. Super Calo was another one. I like Super Calo. He was my boy. He wasn't very, he wasn't the greatest in the world, but he was a boy status. Like, you root for him even though he's gonna lose. Go ahead.
Just see him over at YouTube. We're gonna miss Ron, aka R-Truth.
Yeah, man.
Carlito, it sucks. They were released. I blame TKO. Yeah, that's how we opened the show. We kind of dove into that pretty big. I don't like TKO taking over. WWE tickets are expensive. Yeah, we covered that too. So we're on the same boat for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not great because basically the response that I've heard from WWE superstars when they were asked, like, you know, anonymously by Sean Ross Sapp or other journalists, was that they truly believe now that nobody's safe. Like, you used to think there were guys, they're lifers, they're safe, nothing's going to happen to them, and it's a whole different beast now. It's not just a family. You know, for all intents, you know, despite how estranged or strained their relationships might have been, Vince, Steph, Hunter, they were all family. Sean's been around long enough where he's basically family to Vince and Triple H and Stephanie. So it was a family affair. If they wanted to save somebody or keep them on, they always kept them on. Howard Finkel being an example. Kevin Dunn was another one. There's the story of there was a fire in one of the WWE buildings, and Kevin Dunn's father kept the master tapes of all the shows in the trunk of his car to protect them from fire and smoke damage. And from then on, Kevin Dunn had a job in WWE for life. That only happens at a small company with one or two people making decisions. It doesn't happen anymore, and it doesn't happen in a billion-dollar company.
Not at all. That is the old times, old regimes.
Yep.
This is where we start to see the changes and the differences.
Right. Yeah. This is when it starts happening. Unfortunately, it sucks, but you know, unfortunately, that's the price of doing business with billion-dollar companies. You know.
Used to love
just dollar. You know.
I would do anything to go back to wrestling how it used to be, the old school way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
I know what you mean. Just like the old, you know, it sounds like nostalgia, but guys, you don't understand back in the day, even before the Monday Night Wars, and I know there was a lull in the early 90s, but from like the late 70s through the 80s into like 1989, 1990, wrestling was, you know, you had wrestling companies all over, every region, New York, Florida, Georgia, all independent, and they all had big stars. You know, Roddy Piper came from Portland, and different guys would come from Michigan or Tech. You know, the Von Erichs were in Texas. So, and then eventually Vince consolidated all of it and took the best of the best from all of those and kind of made it, you know, he made it his own thing. But the point being, Monday Night Wars, same kind of thing. There wasn't just one option like there was for 19 years, with just WWE being in business and TNA being a very, very distant second, if we're being honest. There was Monday nights, you had WCW and WWE going head-to-head. They were both throwing all their big guns out. All the big stars were either wrestling or doing promo segments or doing something crazy like lighting somebody on fire or smashing a car or whatever. There was crazy shit going on all the time. And then if you didn't like that or you needed more, you tuned in at some random time at like 11 o'clock on TNN to watch ECW. And that's where shit really went down. I remember being 11 years old, maybe, sneaking out of bed to go into the TV room to turn on ECW, and I watched New Jack jump off a balcony at the Hammerstein on TV, and I'm like, holy shit, this is what you can do in wrestling. And it opened my eyes to a whole different world of wrestling. And from then on, I became aware and a fan of you know, the hardcore wrestling. And even to today, I don't watch it as much, but I like the deathmatch stuff. It's not for everybody, but if there's a good one, I'm down to watch
it. Yeah, for sure. Just see him over YouTube. I don't think Logan Paul and John Cena are a good tag team to face Cody and Jey Uso. I think Cody and Jey are going to win. I don't think Logan Paul and John Cena are going to win. All right, so a couple things in that. So first of all, I don't know that we can judge and say they're a good or bad team because we haven't seen them really team together yet. I can tell you that Logan Paul does nothing but impress me time and time again. So I don't think it could be bad. And it protects John. So I'm all for it. I don't think Logan and John are going to win either. And John doesn't have to win because he doesn't have to take the pin and the title's not on the line. What do you guys think?
All true.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
I think that part of that's the story they're telling. John Cena's not 100% on board with Logan Paul's fucking shenanigans, and he kind of, he shows that.
Yeah. So
I think there is going to be a breakdown of communication or something like that, and it's going to lead to them losing the match. And because of course, along the way here, because John Cena's not losing a singles match or a title match rather until the end of the year. That's just a fact. It's just what's going to happen. But along the way, if there's a tag team match or something like that, or a multi-man match, he can lose, and he doesn't even need to be pinned.
Right.
Correct.
Logan Paul can take the pin. John Cena can still get his ass whooped to the point where, like, he gets dumped out of the ring, and Logan Paul gets hit with a whole bunch of finishers. You end the match, blah, 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 and there's tension between... And then that might lead to fucking Cena against Logan Paul. Who knows? Not that, not that everybody wants that, but it's definitely
there
something
was a little rift against them. You notice that little tension with him and Cena?
That's...
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the tease. That's what they're telling you. Like, all right, they're not 100% on the same page.
John Cena could fuck around, get frustrated with him, and just like end up leave and walking out on him, and that could just be the new beef against him. Yeah, like, oh, you want to act like a dickhead? All right, fight by yourself, and he just walks out on him.
Very
you
possible.
Act like a dickhead? I'll just kick you in the dick. No problem.
Bam.
Did you see him over at YouTube? Well, Grande Americano almost end up grabbing the briefcase, and Goldberg makes his return. That could set up a retirement match against Goldberg and Gunther. I think you can set up a retirement match between Goldberg and Gunther and have that have absolutely nothing to do with Money in the Bank.
That would be great.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's been the rumor that Goldberg is getting ready to come back to have one last match, and it is, from all rumors, Gunther. But it's not going to be for a title because I don't think Gunther is winning the title back.
No. Have you seen pictures of Goldberg's son recently?
He got his dad's tattoo.
He's huge.
He got his dad's
He's a big boy.
The first time we saw him on WWE television about 10 years ago, he was a pudgy little kid. His dad brought him into the ring. For some reason, he thought it would be cool to take his shirt off and pose with his dad, and he looked like the great Hambino from The Sandlot posing with his dad. And now he's fucking jacked. So good for you hitting that puberty, hitting that growth spurt, and coming out the other end. Holy shit, man!
And then getting the same tattoo as his dad, which is cool.
I like it, but they have it on different shoulders, so the picture is them facing each other. So whenever they're facing each other, the tattoo is on.
Yeah,
you can see the two tattoos rather than like.
That's probably the reason he got it there too.
Exactly. Yeah, because the photo was cool. They were standing like face to face, and each one of them had the tattoo on their arm. I'm like, that's so
it was like
dope.
a face off.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah,
cool.
it was like a face off before a boxing match. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
All right. Well, this show was all over the place, and we are approaching top of the hour. Is there anything that we wanted to touch on before we take it home? Because we didn't really get to break down the shows.
Yeah, I really think we didn't have enough discussion about Grande Americano. I feel we need to just step back a couple and take that over. Maybe spend another 10, 15 minutes on the Grande Americano thing.
I think I've had enough of Grande Americano for the day.
hey, I'm gonna call it now. He's becoming my new favorite Dominic Mysterio. I called Dominic like 2 years ago. Look where Dominic is now. I'm liking Grande Americano. Well, not only Grande. I'm liking Chad Gable in general because I think he's a workhorse and he works.
Oh, he's amazing.
I think he's very good.
He does. And I hope that he's, there's a lot of guys that are held back by the fact that they're small. And I think that it really actually works to his advantage that he can do all of these amazing things and all these amazing feats of strength while still being a small guy. That's what got Rey Mysterio over.
And he's strong as fuck, too. He is so strong. Like, he is so underrated. I think pound for pound, he might be, like, the strongest guy in the roster right now. Pound for pound.
For sure. I think if they ever needed to have him, like, if he was seriously going to get pushed up the card, one T-bone suplex to a guy the size of Braun Breaker, and the place will fucking lose their minds. Like, he just needs to pick up a giant guy and throw him, and everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, he's legit.
Which he 100%. Can do, too.
Yeah, did he suplex Braun Strowman? I feel like he German suplexed Braun Strowman.
I think he did.
He did.
Yeah.
He did like a slow suplex on him, like that slow shit he does.
That's strength. That's like Cesaro style strength in a guy that's a foot shorter than Cesaro. That's crazy. What a dude. I agree, man. I like Chad Gable, and I wish the other guy, I wish Jason Jordan was still able to wrestle, because I think both of them at this point would be big stars, either as a tag team or as singles guys.
Oh, yeah.
Or rivals.
Yeah, or they could have been rivals, right? You know, I think that was what they were setting them up.
Rollins thing going on.
Yeah, just forever rivals. Separate them for a little bit, bring them back together when you need to. Yeah, man. I think that it's too bad for him. But yeah, Chad Gable climbing up the list. Hopefully he gets the recognition that he deserves. So we shall see.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the top of the hour.
Yes, sir. Indeed, we have. Thank you so much for checking us out and sticking with us tonight. We have been the War Report. You can find us on social media at Tag Me A Date. That's Tag Me A Date. Type it in your search. That is our Facebook. That is our YouTube. That is our Instagram. That is our Twitter/X. So follow us at Tag Me A Date. If you go to TikTok, it is different. It's on TikTok, look for the War Report Podcast, and you can follow us on there as well. On the Instagram, on the TikTok, we do reels that are clips from the show that week leading up to our Tuesday night broadcast. We are live on both Facebook and YouTube. Facebook, you go to Tag Me A Date on Facebook, hit the thumbs up button to like the page. Or YouTube, you type in Tag Me A Date in the search bar and you hit the subscribe button, and then you hit the bell to get notified when we go live or upload a new video. And those are the best ways to watch the show. However, if you want to listen to the show, excuse me, you can go to your favorite podcast apps such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. All you have to do is type in the Tag Me A Date and the War Report. Hit that search. You'll see it pop up. There are two wrestling podcasts called The War Report. You'll see our graphic that is in both corners here by Steve and by myself. You'll see the graphic. You'll see our names in the description. That's how you know it's us. When you hit that subscribe button, the audio from this live broadcast gets ripped into audio format by Ryan, and it's uploaded within an hour of us going off the air. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that for us. Thank you to Ryan for being in the comments, Jassim for being in the comments, and Tara for being in the comments. David Roscoe is not here this week, which always makes me worry about him. So, David, if you're listening to this a day or two later, please leave a comment to let us know that you're okay, buddy. We're thinking about you. I assume nothing's wrong. I assume you just missed it today. But that's it for today. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time, for another edition of the War Report After Dark. R-Truth is the man. We respect R-Truth. We think he is a legend. He deserves better. And we will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Stand up and say yourself.